Guys, welcome back to Amped Action Mindset Physical Training. We're so excited to be here with you today. We're shooting from the Southern Mecca powerhouse in Tampa, Florida, the greatest gym. So make sure you check us out if you ever in our neighborhood, right? As for Jake or Tom, or the great one back in the corner named Matthew McConaughey. So we last episode we spoke about a lot of things when it comes to structure program, but we mentioned at the end that we're going to go into the thing that is the cause, the catalyst to your suffering, and we said that we're going to share the key to what is how do you liberate yourself from it, and the key is surrender.
Surrender and to some extent acceptance are things that help you calm yourself down and live in your parasympathetic nervous system instead of your sympathetic. You don't want to be in fight or flight. You want to be in rest and digest. There are things that happen in your life that you have no control over, and that you have to just kind of let go and accept instead of taking that whatever's bothering you and ruminating about it and telling a story about it and taking it to the gym for a workout in the gym in your mind.
Correct.
So you have to be able to realize what's causing you this suffering, and is it something that you have some control over, or is it something you really don't have much control over? And that's the big key, is being aware of that and then being able to let go of that. Go ahead.
Right. Well, autonomy to me is an illusion. The idea that you have control is already illusory. I think when the controller, once once they begin to want to control something, they become the control by the one thing they're trying to control. So technically, I found this wisdom in literature from a long time ago, from old times, because I think our ancestors had the most beautiful perspective and outlook on. And that's what helped me really throughout my personal development journey, spiritually, right, mentally, because everything translates into the outside world once you work on yourself inside. So it's very interesting, but it really, all the greatest teachings, all the greatest wisdom that I came across speaks about the ability to live effortlessly, like what the Taoists in China call Wu Wei.
The Taoist is my favorite.
The
Yeah,
Taoists,
I've got the book. I've
masters
read
at
it
this
5 times.
dude. Oh, the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah, it's great.
Lao Tzu, he's the one that wrote it.
Yep.
Incredible book. So they were masters at this ability of mastering yourself, and they describe this knowledge and wisdom in left hand. Modern time, we're 98% of people are stressed today, and a lot of their bad decision comes from the fact that they are stressed internally. Today, I feel like in our modern society, we're all about dealing with the symptoms instead of dealing with the issue, the source of the problem. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna do this, take this, confuse, distract myself with this and that. And those are all destructive. That's what leads to destructive habits and a life that is it's just not worth living, right? And then you're unhappy later. So the key is to deal with the source of the issue, which is the fact that the inside world is not okay. And then that's where meditation come into play. That's where surrendering comes into play. Like all the people that I know, they're very successful. Me, it really started after I literally surrendered and I just accepted the flow. Not saying surrender be a couch potato. I'm saying surrender, actually be diligent, be goal oriented, be driven, just not the wrong pressure on yourself. I'm not good enough. I didn't achieve it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and be okay with how things turn out. Okay, it's still leading you to the ultimate goal. Okay, sorry.
It is.
You can go and elaborate on this.
And one thing I like to point out is each individual is responsible for their own happiness or suffering.
Correct.
And suffering,
Yeah.
because there's always going to be some suffering in your life.
And that's a really good advice for people that use excuses. Oh, I'm not happy because of my mom or that person.
Yes, because a lot of times we might put the blame on something else, my
Oh my
boss
God,
at work or somebody else.
The weather,
That's the excuses, the justifications.
the traffic.
And you have to be able to let go of that and be aware of that when that starts to take place. You have to be able to let things go and surrender to what's happening to you right here, right now.
So how do you let go, if you don't mind me asking? What is your main strategy to master your mind from like going into those holes of like that leads you to like overthinking or thinking less of yourself or whatnot, and you're not good enough and all that? What is your strategy? How do you do that?
My strategy is first of all, after years and years of meditation and working on my own personal growth, because I have that A personality, go,
So,
the
right,
way I
you're
was
driven.
raised.
Yeah.
So for me, it's to be aware of when I start thinking about like earlier today. So I'm thinking, we're doing this episode today, and I started getting a little, oh, do I need to revisit this? Do I need to
Right.
rewrite it or anything, or help, make some changes to it? Let it go, Tom. It looks good. We're going to sit here and we're going to hash it out and we're going to have a good time with
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So it's those kind of things, reading a good book, meditation, trying to bring a study in, taking a course of some time to enlighten me about, neurological pathways and how to create new synapses in your brain.
Right.
But being aware that I'm doing something that is not beneficial to me. So you can either you can ask yourself, is this thought useful or is it useless to me?
Helping in my development, or is it helping in my destruction?
Yes, that's a good point.
So out of all you mentioned, meditation, reading, self-analysis, or like mental analysis,
Working out.
what's your working out? That's a no-brainer.
Yep.
That's why physical training is part of our channel.
Absolutely.
What is, especially epinephrine,
The
endorphins,
the feel good hormone.
Exactly. What is your favorite one? What is the one that you just like, you can go to all the time and it works?
What I can go to all the time if I'm stressed out,
Yeah,
or
what's
having
your
some
favorite?
anxiety, I can sit in the car if I'm in a parking lot and I can hit the Insight Timer meditation app on my phone, and I can. I don't need I don't need guidance or music. I just need quiet, peace, and stillness. And
Okay.
then what I do is I might do a form of square breathing or box breathing or vagus nerve breathing, or I
Okay.
might just take a few deep
Okay.
breaths
And just
and let it go. And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
my eyes may be closed, and sometimes I'll be looking out the windshield of my car, and the guy next to me is probably thinking, "What is this guy doing?" and
Who cares?
but who
man?
cares?
Sounds like you're practicing being present in the
Yes.
moment. And a lot of people that I talk to that are successful with
Yep.
their minds, you can just tell you have good communication with them, you have good conversation, in-depth conversations with them. Some of their practices, they tell you that their favorite thing is to, when they're in the present moment, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past. Sometimes I enjoy just focusing on one thing, and you'll see that thoughts try to intervene, but the more I focus on that one thing, the more the thoughts quiet, and then eventually I reach something I like to call no mind. And that from that one thing, I'll just deviate to just going into that state of no mind. To me, it's such a peaceful state that everything that is a challenge in my life, I can just see the solutions for it right away. That I can never catch when I'm like going through my day or busy doing something or studying or reading or writing, or when I'm sketching, or it's just when I'm in that no mind, I can just easily, the solutions are right behind the problems. So interesting. Okay, sorry, you want to say something?
Yes, because what you said just sprung home from what. So yesterday, I'm in here. I'm on the inversion table, hanging upside down, decompressing my back. There's no blood in my body. It's all in my brain. I'm taking
And then
some
I
deep
pop up,
breaths.
right?
And I hear a voice in the back of my head because Jake was standing behind me and he was saying, he was talking about the no mind thing. So I found that interesting because that's kind of that's my time, and I kind of try to get into myself and block the rest of this out.
You have
But
several
this
ways. That's
morning,
one of them, yeah.
this morning when I was doing my meditation prior to coming in here, I thought about what you said on the no mind thing, and I was
It's powerful, man.
I was doing a silent meditation. So there was
Okay.
no guidance, there was nothing, it was just quiet.
Love
And
that.
I thought about the no mind thing, and of course, then I focus on one thing, normally my breath.
Yeah, it's just a
and you
step.
can,
It's
it's
a
not
grad.
going to be a forever. It's going to happen your whole life, and for 5 minutes at a time. It's
No,
bits
it's
and
a
pieces.
gradual. It's
Because
just
your
like
mind
working out.
does what it wants. Is built to think,
Yeah. Oh my.
but you can control that, like we talked in a previous episode.
Exactly.
Are you a prisoner of your own
Or
mind or not?
Yeah, yeah.
So-
So no, I completely agree. It's not. All our episodes, I think we cover the aspect of delayed gratification. If you want to be successful with this, you have to understand what delayed gratification mean. What you're doing. It's the law of growth in nature. You have to, if you plant a seed, it cannot grow. You can't mess with the dirt and try to, nothing grew.
You got to do the work, buddy.
Yeah, it's this watering, nurturing, patient, waiting for the right season to rain. Like, it's the factor of like understanding the thing require patience
Yes.
for them to truly, like, consistency and patience. You have to put your effort into it. You can't be saying all these things are my dreams. I want to achieve all these things, and then all your effort is going into something else, or being lazy, or
Yeah.
not being, productive, not being.
No action plan.
Yeah, that's where it goes back to action.
Yeah.
Mindset.
You need an
physical
action
training,
plan
yeah.
for your mindset to develop your mind as well as your body
Yeah,
and the mind-body connection. Next week,
Yeah,
we're gonna
please.
talk a little bit about
Can I share one last thing?
Yeah.
For the men, we live in a very competitive environment for us, right? We're men. We have to succeed. We have to provide for our family. We have to take care of our loved ones, and we should, right? That should be our path. And you could come and listen to us when it comes to this, and you say, "Oh, this is not a warrior path." We're actually, that's exactly what we're talking about. The true warrior, I think, to me, is the one that can swing his sword very calmly. I mean, that's the one that's going to be very effective with his sword. But the one that has 1,000,000,000 thoughts and trying to swing his sword, he's not going to hit his target. So what I'm trying to say, we will, as warriors, as men, or as providers, as protectors, as carers to the world, our family, our loved ones, because we should care about all these things. And we venture too far away from that. It's really the ability to make clear, calm decisions. They have to come from a source of calm, and that's where the perfected state is for us. As so, it's a good quality to have. Sorry,
for
now,
women too.
this is
Needs
for
to be-
everyone,
yes.
but I know for men, it's more competitive for them than it is for women. And I'm not bashing.
How do you know that?
So here's my, oh, we're going to go into this time. You started it. My perspective is on men and women. They are two pieces of the same puzzle. They complete each other. You cannot say that women are less or men are less. And I think this is
Agreed.
one of the great problems that humanity is facing today, is the suffering of like not understanding the other sex, right? We complete each other. Coherence is how we work and how we create. So it's just, we have to understand our roles as men and women. That's where I'm coming from. And I was covering the masculine role in society. I'm all about like develop humanity moving forward, because I see the world suffering. I see people struggling, working with hundreds and hundreds of clients. You heard all kinds of stories. You see people hurting. So it's like, that's the reason why we did all this. We expect, because me and you are not just coaches. We're like mental
Right.
coaches. We had to develop ourselves in. Rarely where I meet someone like him, but we had to develop ourselves in every aspect, because we did
Absolutely.
care about being a successful coach.
On the men and women, yes, they complete each self, but you don't want, or however, you don't want to be codependent on someone else for your own happiness.
Definitely. Not
Because
on
that
your
goes
woman,
back to your suffering.
your
That
friend.
can cause
Yeah,
additional suffering.
exactly. Nobody's coming to save you but you. There's could be guidance, but nobody's coming to save you but you. Our next episode, we're gonna end this. We have to end this.
Yeah,
We spoke
yeah,
for too
we're
long.
having too
For our
much
next
fun.
episode, we're gonna talk about the crucial things regarding hydration that most people seem to overlook. Make sure that you comment and do subscribe to our channel. Please help spread the help that we want to provide for people. And if you have any questions, do comment below.
Yes.
Other than that, have an amazing day,
Thank
guys.
you.
Take care.
Bye now.